Hello everyone, Nathan here. So I wanted to just give you guys a few updates. Mostly has to do with my channel and scheduling, but there's a few sort of miscellaneous things that I want to just kind of include in this video. So we'll start with some of the smaller items just to get through them quicker, and then we'll get on to the bigger things. So first and foremost, BitChute has now finally improved their comments section. You can finally get notifications for comments, which is great. It will show up in just your notification section, or it will, and it also comes to you in email form. You know, whichever email you use to sign up to it. Better late than never. And it fucking took them long enough, but hey, isn't it? I'm glad it's finally happened. So yeah, there's that. Also in alt tech and more in relation to my channels more specifically, Odysee has officially surpassed my BitChute account in terms of sub count. So as of recording this video right now, my channel on Odysee is 398 followers, so we're just about to pass that 400 threshold, which is really exciting. Like it seems like traffic on Odysee has kind of picked up a bit. Not that I'm making huge amounts of views, but like I'm starting to get a noticeably more amount of engagement, like more views, more comments, more subs on Odysee, and that's pretty awesome. And likewise, I am starting to see a bit of that on BitChute. My sub count was really stuck for a while, but it just recently kind of broke forward a little bit. Oh wow! It just went up by one just now. So I now have 394 subscribers on BitChute. I was just about to say that I've got 393. So I think that's actually officially the highest that my sub count has been on BitChute, so that is also pretty awesome. And again, I'm noticing that my views on BitChute are getting pretty good, and it seems like especially once it passes the 24-hour mark, like it just keeps racking up even higher, which means that there must be some degree of discoverability, which is nice, which is really nice. Let's see. So I think that was everything that I wanted to talk in terms of, channels and smaller updates. So as some of you might know, I have quite a backlog of games that I'm trying to get through, both in terms of playthroughs on the channel that haven't been completed that I'd like to be able to do, as well as new games that I'd like to be able to start up. And one of those is Knights of the Old Republic. And I don't want to speak too soon on this, but that may actually happen sooner rather than later. I can't exactly get into the details why, because to be honest, it's not that terribly interesting. But yeah, that might actually happen sooner rather than later, and I certainly hope that's the case. I'm just afraid of essentially, I'm afraid of starting a new adventure and then not really being able to continue it because I get distracted by too many other games that are on the list and I end up not coming back to it. Kind of like I've done with Breath of the Wild and Fallout 4, which I swear at some point I will return to, but no idea when. Honestly, no idea when. So now on to probably the bigger part of this update video. There may be a temporary schedule change in my video releases after the Roa playthrough is completed. I'm not exactly sure if I want to go through with this or not, or if I want to, save it for a later date, or if I want to do it after maybe another playthrough goes through on the channel, for the main Monday, Wednesday, Friday slots. I'm not really sure, but basically it's like this. My Mass Effect trilogy playthrough has it's all on YouTube, of course, but it's only sparsely on other platforms. It is in its entirety on Fruit Lab, which is great. That's wonderful. It's nice that it's on at least one other alternative to YouTube. But the thing is, while I have a lot of high hopes for the for Fruit Lab as a whole, I'm not exactly sure how future-proof it is. I don't exactly know what the longevity of the site is going to be. I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe 10, 10, 20 years from now, nobody will be talking about YouTube anymore. It'll just be FruLab. FruLab will be like the one that took over by some miracle. I don't know. But in their terms of service, it does say that for any particular reason, it is possible that older videos will be removed. Because, I mean, let's toss them a little bit of a bone. They're not a big tech corporation that has, billions upon billions of dollars to work with. I can sort of sympathize with the fact that maybe they would need to delete older content because maybe it's just not getting engaged with anymore and they can't fit anything else on their servers. So there is always the chance that the playthrough on there could disappear for one reason or another after a certain amount of time. So then I've also uploaded the trilogy, the Mass Effect trilogy, onto BitChute, but the problem there, the problem is twofold. The quality is not that good. Like the resolution is bad because that's just how BitChute is for now until that eventually changes. But worse yet, some of the older videos, not all of them, it seems a bit random, but some of my older videos just don't work anymore, just like, a lot of other people's videos. And there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. I have reached out to them before to see if they could possibly fix it. They said that at some point, all of the older videos will be retroactively fixed, but it was a long time ago that I got that email, so I don't know if that's exactly high on their list of priorities considering, all the other stuff that they're trying to do on the website. So what I'm left with is Odysee, and a good portion of my trilogy playthrough is on here, but certainly not all of it. You've got about a good portion of 2 and basically all of Mass Effect 3 except for the endings. So I know this is going to sound weird, but I think I'm suffering from a little bit of OCD that the whole thing isn't on Odysee. That it's not in a completed form on like another platform, and I don't need it to be this. I don't need it to be out there universally everywhere. Like I don't need the entire playthrough re-uploaded to Utreon or to DTube or wherever else. But what I'm thinking, and hopefully this hasn't been too long-winded, I'm thinking that maybe at some point, possibly after the Roa playthrough, that the main Monday, Wednesday, Friday slot will be basically blank on most platforms except for Odysee, where I'll re-upload all of the missing videos for my trilogy playthrough of Mass Effect, starting with Mass Effect 1, of course. I'm not totally sure if I want to go through with that or not, or if I want to figure out how to do it another way, like if I decide to do it as weekend releases instead, because if I have to do it on weekends, and that means that I'm uploading every single day, and that's kind of a hassle. So it would be easier if it was just part of my weekday schedule. But the issue then, of course, is that everybody who's everywhere else, who just watches me on YouTube or just watches me on BitChute, that means that I'm basically going to be only putting out 2 videos a week on those platforms. So yeah, I'd kind of like to do it, but I'm not sure how I feel about it as of right now. What sparked this off, for the most part, was a few days ago, I had stumbled across one of my older videos of Mass Effect. It was right at the end of the playthrough. It was, one of the 4 ending videos. And, I just kind of tapped on it and watched it, and I don't know, all these kind of emotions and feelings started rushing back, and remembering all the fun times that I had streaming it, and the nights that I did have an audience watching it with me, and just the experiences that I had with that trilogy itself, because it was almost like the Mass Effect trilogy in and of itself was its own era of gaming. It was kind of the first time I had ever experienced, decision making in a game on that level. Certainly on a scale where it would go from one game to the next. Like that was a huge deal for me at the time. I mean, I suppose it is still kind of unique. I don't really know of any other games offhand. I mean, I suppose Dragon Age, but I didn't really play Dragon Age. So, and I feel like I can't exactly go back and play the Mass Effect trilogy again and get all those same feelings back, because I've actually played through them a lot. At the time that I was playing through the Mass Effect trilogy, it was before, I kind of, for lack of a better term, grew up. It was when I still didn't really have a ton of responsibilities in my life, and before I got married and had a family and all that kind of thing. So I had a chance to go through that trilogy a lot. Mass Effect 2 in particular, I think I may have played through Mass Effect 2 like 7 times or so. So yeah, you could say that it was played out, but I still have all these great memories, especially on my last playthrough where I did, on the channel. And I remember when I had finally completed the trilogy, it was kind of emotional for me, and so that was what kind of made me want to ensure that it was all, one way or another, put onto Odysee, because Odysee, it runs on the library blockchain, of course, and that does actually seem quite future-proof. It seems like that's going to be built to last. And so I think probably what I would do is, I would, do my uploads of it until it's caught up, basically, until, every video that's missing is put on there, and that would be partway through the Mass Effect 2 entry, and then I'd probably put out like one additional video that says like, there it is, all the videos are up now, and here's links to the playlists of all 3 games, something like that. Because Odysee has a really nice playlist feature, and I like it. And so, kind of on the note of Mass Effect, I'm sorry, but this is a huge tangent I'm going on right now, I realize. But yeah, I was quite largely disappointed with when I found out more details about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition or remake or whatever the fuck they were calling it. And I was just really largely unimpressed. It seemed like really minimal work was put into it, and it was something that I think probably the modding community had already pretty much done to the trilogy a long time ago, particularly with 1. In terms of updated textures and all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like you could have just, outsourced to the community and have them do it and like make like an official thing out of it. I don't know. Kind of similar to what Sega did with Sonic Mania, where they outsourced to a bunch of, ROM hackers, essentially. And so then it got me thinking about how Mass Effect Andromeda was such a blunder. It was just hot garbage. And I don't have incredible faith in Mass Effect 4, which is still quite a ways out. It's going to be years before that. I mean, all we have is a pre-rendered teaser. Like, there is no gameplay or anything like that. It's, very early on in the development cycle. And as much as I don't have high hopes for Mass Effect 4, I would like to. I wish I could. I honestly think it's going to fucking suck. And I would love to be wrong about that, because I would love to be excited for a Mass Effect game again. I would love to be excited to embark on another entry that has all that same excitement that the other ones did. And I just don't think I'm going to. I don't think that is what we're going to get. For example, the remake that they're doing for KOTOR. I did a video on that a while back. Don't fucking get that. I'm gonna say right off the bat, it's going to be absolute trash. It's going to fucking suck. There's going to be I'm sure there's going to be woke assertions or woke injections into it. I'm positive, because I know one of the lead writers that's on it. I mean, not personally or anything. I mean, I know who she is and what her history is. And I mean, other big red flag: new writers on a remake that doesn't need new writing, and yet there's writers. So yeah, and considering some of the changes that BioWare wished they could have made to the new trilogy, and things that they would have done if they were the original creators of Mass Effect, it doesn't bode well for Mass Effect 4. Again, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for them to buckle down and do their fucking research into what made the first 3 games so great and follow off that. But we'll see. We will see. Aside from that, things are going okay on my game development, but of course not nearly as quick as I would like it to. But I mean, I think that's kind of the nature of game development. It's never going to be as fast as you want it to be. The project will always take longer than expected. But I've got some. I've made some interesting progress. Like the playable character has really come along. There's just a few kind of animation glitches I want to work out, and then the basic gameplay mechanics of the player will actually be ready, and then my next step will be working on enemies. Timeline, unofficially, I'd like to have maybe 1 or 2 functioning enemies, not necessarily in terms of design, but in terms of function, like how they behave. Enemy behavior, I'd like to see some real good progress on that by, like, say, July, to get something going with that, and then we can, perfect some more things with enemies and enemy behavior, and then by I don't know, maybe August or September, we can start looking into, like, actually building out levels. So, yeah, I don't think that getting the game complete by the end of the year is necessarily realistic, but if I really keep on top of it, a trailer by the end of the year, or even right towards the end of the year, like in December, maybe I can have a trailer. That'd be fucking wicked, dude. But anyway, I hope this video hasn't been too rambly. I hope whatever I put in for the background was good. It'll probably be some Mass Effect gameplay. But anyway, that's the end of this video, and I will see you all in the next one.